Hello, spooky friends, and welcome to another episode of Storytime with the Scariest Podcast.
Woo!
I'm Robin Grace, this is Adam Diaz, and
Hello.
Today we're here to read a few homegrown horrors to all you lovely folks. So, Adam, tell us what that is.
Homegrown horrors are the paranormal, spooky, supernatural, creepy, sometimes coincidental stories that you wonderful folks send in to us so that we can read to the masses, or sometimes you send them in to us so that you can just have someone to talk to so you don't feel like you're crazy. Either one works. We totally understand.
Okay.
But that is what a homegrown horror is. That's what we're going to be reading tonight. Robin, if folks had a story like that, where could they send it to?
You can send it to Storytime at scariest.com. You know, we've been doing this for like 200 episodes, and it's still like,
okay.
And you can also message us on social media outlets, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that fun stuff. We also have a website, scariest.com, and there's a contact us page. You just go to that, fill that fun stuff out, and it sends it to us that way.
Indeed. So those are the different ways you can reach out to us with a homegrown horror. We have 4 tonight. They're all relatively short, like medium to short length, but we wanted to make sure we're doing them in fairly chronological order, so that's what we have on deck for you. Robin, did you want to go first, or would you like me to?
I can go first.
Okay, cool.
So the first story I'm going to read is titled True Crime, A Santa Claus Murderer.
This sounds exciting and horrifying and horrible at the same time.
What's funny is just last night when we were recording the episode for this week, Adam was saying, like, I can't believe you did Christmas murders.
Yeah, because I was going through old topics to try and find an episode, and I saw Christmas murders. I'm like, how morbid.
All right, so it goes, hi, Robin and Adam.
Hello.
I've really been enjoying your podcast, and it's been helping me a lot in this very scary time of coronavirus, which is totally understandable. It's just so crazy going on. Listening to you guys helps curb my anxiety and makes it feel like I have friends when we're all supposed to be social distancing.
You do have friends.
And I honestly really feel that way about the community. There's so much interaction that I would normally not get, and I feel like I'd be way lonelier without all of you.
I agree.
So there's that.
Especially the Spooky Friends group on Facebook.
Yeah, you guys are
It's
awesome.
super active. It's so awesome.
Those murder wasps. Someone posted a picture of murder wasps.
Yeah, it was Tim actually who posted that. Scary big.
All right, back to the story. So, I don't have any more paranormal stories, but I do have a crazy true crime story from my hometown in Covina, California. This happened back on Christmas Eve of 2008 when I was home after my first semester of college. I was at my ex-boyfriend's house with his family doing Christmas Eve things when we heard sounds of what seemed like fireworks. Spoilers, they were not fireworks.
Uh-oh.
We didn't think anything of it, as people in my hometown will set off fireworks for literally anything, and went about our celebrating.
Honestly, we've had, 3 or 4 nights in a row at 3 a.m. where I've heard something that sounded like fireworks / gunshots.
Yeah, but if it was a gunshot, I'm sorry, but it wouldn't happen 3 nights in a row at the exact same time.
You don't know that? You know that someone's not going out there just blasting the cap in the air?
Unless it's like that dude from Mary Poppins who fires the cannon at the every hour or whatever it is.
Maybe it is. Maybe that's exactly what it is.
All right. Anyway, however, we realized something was wrong when about half an hour later, we noticed that there was fire a few blocks away and large amounts of smoke in the air. We still don't think that anything criminal had happened in our quiet town. We just assumed that someone had gone a little crazy with the Christmas Eve barbecue or fireworks and had accidentally set their garage on fire. Yes, that's happened more than once in Covina. That's fucking crazy.
I've accidentally set a field on fire before. So it's because it was a really, really dry summer. We were just shooting off fireworks in our backyard, and it fell into, just a pile of brush in the person's field. We had to run out there and put it out. So.
Oh, my gosh.
Shit happens, just saying.
I have a story, but I'll share it afterwards. So, it was not until the next day that we heard on the news what had happened. Turns out, just 2 blocks from his house, a man wearing a Santa suit had knocked on his ex-wife's house with a large sack, pretending to bring in presents. However, he was actually carrying 2 semi-automatic handguns and a homemade flamethrower.
Homemade?
What the fuck?
I think I have spoiler alerts on how this fire gets started.
As soon as he entered, he began to shoot everyone that was there for Christmas Eve.
Holy shit.
When he was done, he used a flamethrower to set the house on fire. In total, 9 people died from being shot or from burns, from being shot or from the burns, and 3 others were wounded, including an 8-year-old girl that was shot in the face.
This is horrible.
This is horrific. This is absolutely horrific. He then drove to his brother's house where he shot. Aww. Yeah. That's sad. He shot and killed himself. When the authorities found his body, they found that he had with him a one-way ticket to Canada and $17,000 strapped to himself. Why?
Probably to get it through customs at the airport.
He also had severe third-degree burns all over his body. This asshole had originally planned on killing his family because of his marital issues with his ex and then escaping to Canada. However, he must have realized that his burns were too severe for him to escape. Oh, so he totally burned himself while he was burning that house down.
Homemade flamethrower just sounds like a disaster, so...
That's not really scary. It's just scary true crime story from my hometown. Hope you all enjoyed it. Please stay safe and stay home during this crazy time. Love you both, Captain Fake Guy. Thank you so much for sending that in. That's so... freaking terrifying. I mean,
we have a morbid fascination with true crime.
I do have a morbid fascination.
So it is incredibly interesting.
It is totally interesting. The fact that this guy was like, I'm going to dress up as Santa and kill my kids. You know how
not just his kids, like just everyone in his family.
It's just
totally... 9 people died. 9 people died. That's
insane.
A whole family gathering at a Christmas party.
But he's probably all alone, you know?
It's just bizarre. It's weird to say, I did enjoy that because it's a horrific thing to hear about. But I mean, it's, like I mentioned, very interesting. So yeah, thank you very much for sending that in. And true crime is definitely something that we are very interested in. So if you folks have stories like that, please send them our way.
We do have a new t-shirt now that says aliens. What does it say? Aliens, ghosts, demons, cryptids, and true crime.
And scary-ish.
I
really like the design. I think I already ordered one, in fact. So I'm going to move into my first email of the show. And this one's subject is Spooky Wives' Tale? ? And then in parentheses, can read on the pod. That really helps us, because then we know, just forward it Spooky Mom. She'll get it taken care of. It starts out like this. Howdy, Adam, Robin, Spooky Mom, and Spooky Peeps. Howdy. It's like you knew I'd have a mustache this episode, and you're just like,
oh, that makes so much sense.
I see it in the future. I hope everyone is doing great, staying safe, and staying sanitary during this time of quarantine. It's a little bit scary. It's a little bit of a scary time for all of us, and we need to support each other in this time. What better way to do so than with stories? I have a story for you guys, but it's not my own, nor is it one of my family's. I heard this story from my grandma on my mom's side, and wasn't sure if anyone else had heard it as well. It might be an old wives' tale or something told in Hispanic culture, but I am not entirely sure. The story goes, there was once a girl and her mother that lived in a house. One night, the girl wanted to go to a dance, but her mother forbade her from going. Parents just don't understand.
I think it's more like kids don't understand that parents tell you can't go somewhere for a specific reason.
Well, dancing...
Now that I'm older, I'm like, oh yeah, my parents told me not to do that. I should have listened.
Dancing is a vertical expression of a horizontal desire. That's what I've always heard. I don't know where it came from, but it's true. It's like, you dance because you want to bang. That's what it comes down to. So, all right.
I mean, I dance when we're at the supermarket.
Exactly.
What the fuck?
I'm going to keep going. The night of the dance, the girl snuck out of her house to go to the dance. At the dance, she was having a lot of fun, and then she noticed a very good-looking man who was dancing really well. Uh-oh, he's the devil.
He's going to murder you.
When she got closer to him, I fucking knew it. When she got closer to him, she noticed that he didn't have feet. He had hooves. He asked her to dance, and they danced the rest of the night. At one point, the girl decided she needed to head home, and her new friend, in quotes, was willing to walk her home. In the morning, the mother noticed her daughter was missing and searched all over the house for her. She decided to go out to the front door to see if she was outside. When she opened the door, she saw her daughter hanging upside down from the ceiling with scratches on her face and dead. It says, and dead body, but I'm pretty sure it just means that she had scratches all over her face and she was dead. The man that the girl was dancing with was supposedly the devil, and the reason why he went after this girl is because she disobeyed her mother. This definitely sounds like a cautionary tale, especially told in the Latin community. So you obey your mother, and especially don't dance with strange men.
Yeah.
Particularly ones with hooves. It's a strange and scary story, and I don't know where it came from.
It's just strangers are the devil.
Yeah. All I know is I heard it from my grandma, who heard it from her mom. Anyway, hope you guys have a wonderful day/evening. Please stay safe. Keep on creeping on. Little Java Bean. Thank you for sending that in, Little Java Bean. I have kind of heard a variation of this story before where a man seduces a young girl and he has hooves for feet, and for some reason they notice and don't take that as a sign to not fuck around with someone like that. But I think there's a lot of cautionary tales out there that always relate back to don't break this rule or don't disobey your parents, you know?
I mean, there's a lot of cautionary tales that are like, don't do this, they're the devil.
Yeah.
It's just whatever it is that you're not supposed to touch, you're not supposed to interact with, it's because they're the devil.
You make it as extreme.
Mama said.
You make it as extreme as possible to make sure that everyone listens to what you're telling them to do, because you think you know better. And in some cases, maybe you do. Like being 34, soon to be 35, there's a lot of things that like 16 to 18-year-old Adam would have been doing, which like me now, I've been like, listen, you're fucking dumb. Don't do that. So when you hear from your parents or an authority figure, you're like, you don't know me. Like, I'm smarter than you are. It's like, not everyone thinks when you're that young that you're indestructible. You just think that someone else had some bad repercussion happen to them because they were stupid. And that's not always the case. But sometimes you just got to let them learn the hard way. Hopefully it's not by getting murdered by the devil, though. That sucks. So thank you again for sending that in.
Yeah, thank you.
So before we move into our next story, we are going to take a really quick commercial break. And we're back.
So, I'm going to get into my second email of the night, and it is from Emily from our YouTube streams.
Who's here right now, too?
Who is here right now, yeah. And the title is Ghost or Robber. I have a feeling it's going to be like someone broke into the house, maybe.
Every time I hear a noise, the first thing my head goes to is someone's in the house, you know? And then I'll search around.
Well, I'm always like, do you want to take the dog with you?
Yeah, like she's so brave. I'll search around the house, and if I don't find anyone, then I'm like, okay, maybe it's a haunting. Who knows?
All right, so it goes. Hi, Adam and Robin.
Hello.
Hello. And hi, Spooky Mom. She's not reading this, so... to start this out, I want to say you can share this story. So some backstory. My dad's mother, we will call her Rosa. Rosa is mostly Native American, Cherokee, and my stepfather, we will call him David. He is straight up white dude, and he is extremely sweet. Now back to the story. So David was going to his mother's farm helping out with the cattle. So my grandmother got home from her job and she went into the kitchen. By the way, her house is not an open style house. Okay, so the kitchen is totally blocked off from everything else then.
Right. You can bring the property brothers
open
in and
concept
they can fix that
is
shit.
the best.
Here's the thing,
I love open concept.
I know we're taking a detour. Open concept kind of sucks if you want some privacy between rooms, you know? Like if you have rooms where there's two TVs and they're near each other, but they're both open concept, you just hear each other's TV the whole time.
Why would you have two rooms that have TVs in
We
them?
do. We do downstairs. We have the living room and we have the family room.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, but it's kind of
Annoying?
its own wing.
Its own wing. Yeah, we have this massive mansion like Bruce
no,
Wayne.
we don't have a mansion, but it's like it's its own room off to the side.
That you can hear the TV from as long as it's... If it's audible to the people sitting on the couches, it's audible to the people in the other room. That's all I'm saying is the knock against open concept.
Okay. Anyway, back to the story and enough HGTV. She was preparing a PB&J sandwich.
The stands for peanut butter and jelly. For those of you who don't know.
Okay.
Did you not know?
I knew. I was just like, why are you explaining PB&J? Everybody knows what PB&J is.
You stopped, though. You hesitated, so I figured I'd let you know.
I'm hesitating because no one's read this yet, and I'm just...
go for a PB&J right now. And I'm like, don't hit me. She like reeled back like she was going to hit me.
Now back to the fuck. Look what you've made me do.
What, it says that in there? Is it quoting that Taylor Swift song? Look what you made me do.
Now back to some backstory. My father's dad, her first husband, built that house and they own that land. Me and my brother will get some of it. And they are the first people in that house. All right. Out of flashback sounds. Because no longer in flashback. So she had heard the front door open and she looked at the clock. She thought that was early for David to be home and she called out his name. She didn't hear him call back out, but she heard footsteps. She called his name again. She heard the door open back up and she heard nothing after that. She thought that he didn't hear her and she went out to see if he went out to the shed because he old as fuck.
Wow.
Oh my god, his car wasn't in the driveway. Oh my god, that's fucking brutal. Okay, she texted him and asked him where he was, and he replied, I'm driving my mother home from the store. She got really freaked out. I would get freaked out too. Someone totally came into the house if you heard footsteps, you know? She called my dad really quick, and he told me to come home with him to make sure she's okay. I'm a lady, though. She was fine, and she quickly ordered a Ring doorbell, and she refused to let me and my dad leave until David got home. Love y'all, and be safe. That is so...
scary.
It's scary, but at the same time, it's, like, kind of funny that she's like, no, guys. I'm ordering this thing. I know Amazon's not going to deliver it for a really long time.
Stay with me until this person gets home. Yeah. It's a smart move, though. It's you're scared. You don't want to be at home alone again.
I think it's smart that she did call out, like, a man's name or someone else's name, because then if someone did break in to do something sketchy, it's like, okay, well, she is expecting someone to show up. I can't just murder her if she's expecting someone to show up because I'll get caught or something like that.
Like,
you know
yelling,
what I
like,
mean?
Cletus, like, did you clean them shotguns? It's like, yeah, they might think twice. They might bounce a little bit.
So I think there are good moves that happen there.
It's really creepy, too, because people jump to one side or the other. They either think something creepy is happening paranormally.
Or true crime.
Someone broke in. And I always go to the true crime spot. I'm always like, someone's in this house, you know, and I'm like, how do I want to deal with this? And then if no one's there, after that, I'm like, well, maybe, just maybe. But for the most part, I'm pretty skeptical. I don't think that someone broke in and then ran out. I think I must have heard things, but that's always kind of in the back of my head. So, good one. Thank you for sending that in, Emily.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, I will move on to my last and the last email of the episode. And the subject on this one is Historic Highway / OK for the pod.
Historic Highway, what is that? Route 66?
That's a historic highway, yeah.
Are there more than one?
Historic highways or Route 66s?
Historic highways.
Yeah, there's plenty of them. So I'm sure this email is about to tell us about a different one. Or maybe about Route 66.
I've got 5% remaining, so just to let you know.
What?
I got 5% remaining on my iPad.
Oh, cool. Good to know. All right, it starts out like this. Hey, spooky fellows.
Hello.
Hello. I have wanted to send this in for a while, but just haven't. First, backstory. I had moved into my husband's parents' house, which was old and has many other spooky stories, but recently, before my story, I had been seeing shadows in the house. They would run out of my vision, dart around a corner, or would just disappear. Anyhow, I'm from Sandy, Oregon, and a common thing to do for me and my husband is to drive through the Columbia Historic Highway. It has lots of curves and there's tons of waterfalls, and at night it's super peaceful.
That's kind of cool.
In parentheses it says, not this time though.
Oh, okay.
We wanted to go and swim in one of the waterfall pools that night and maybe hike. In parentheses, don't judge. We're night owls, so are we.
I mean, I feel like it's normal to want to do cool stuff like that.
Yeah.
I
think it's just about don't judge that it's at night, but I mean, if you know the area, it's really not that dangerous.
And if it's a full moon out, too. And
yeah,
then it's
there's
just
a lot
nice
of light on full moons.
Sexy.
We used to do a lot of, wow. We used to do a lot of obnoxious shit in high school on full moons because you could just, like, do it without flashlights because you could see everything. Anyways, it goes on to say, they're night owls. On our way down the highway, we may as well have been in two different worlds.
What?
So his experience was we were driving down the road and he had noticed I was quiet but didn't say anything. Then he said a bright white light ran through itself in front of the truck and exploded, and he jerked the wheel and even bumped on the curb. Absolutely shocked, he looked over at me and I was still casually staring out the window, completely unfazed by the fact that he almost jumped a curb near a cliff. My experience was different. The whole way down, I had a gut feeling something wasn't right, but I rarely have those, so I ignored it. In parentheses, terrible idea. As we got further down, and the shadows I had been seeing were there, and they were everywhere, I would watch them come and go as we passed them. I was locked onto the side of the road, not sure what to do, so I eventually tried to not look at them because the longer I looked, the more there was. So now I'm looking ahead and I see two sets of brake lights heading down the hill on one of the curves.
I'm just thinking like it's an Odd Thomas thing where they notice that you can see them, so they're like, yo,
so
yo, yo.
Back.
Yeah, and they're starting to like
gather
because they're like, oh, someone can see us, you know?
That could be.
What is that one movie with Richard Gervais?
Ricky Gervais? Ghost Town?
Yeah, where...
I was just thinking about that movie today. I love that movie.
Yeah, that movie's a really good movie. But it's just like all the ghosts start piling onto him because they can see...
They want you to do something.
Yes.
Or they just want the attention. It goes on to say, this is where my story and his story come back together. We get down to a straight, and there wasn't a single set of brake lights. There's nowhere for anyone to turn off or pull over on that road, so we don't know what they were or where they went. We get to the hike and get about half a mile in, and I say we should go back because I don't feel right, And for the very reason that I never feel that way, he was like, let's get the fuck out of here.
So you both experience this really weird thing and then still decide to go on this hike. I'm like, why? You know? Because he experienced something weird, you experienced something weird, but you all still are like, let's go hiking. I'd be so terrified.
Yeah, that is, I would never have gotten there and decided to keep going.
Yeah, I would have never gotten out of the car. I would have been like, nope.
Wouldn't have done it.
Yep.
All right, we ride home in silence, and then I panic once on the way home because a train light scared me. We laughed it off. When we got home and then finally revealed how the drive was for each of us, and we have not driven it at night since then. I occasionally see shadows still, but since that night, I barely see them.
Oh, good.
It is one of the most terrifying things that has ever happened to me and him. I have a few more stories that I will send in eventually. Keep on creeping on, and please let me know if or when you share this on the podcast. Thank you for the amazing podcast.
Thank you so much for sending your story in. That's really scary. And I feel that way about a lot of the old highways that we've been on. It's just so desolate, and there's nothing anywhere. And I'm always afraid that I'm going to see something, and it's just so scary. I can't imagine.
It's really creepy that you both had such like vastly different experiences while sitting next to each other too. Like, that is just so bizarre what could make that happen, you know? Like, if you're even trying to look for a rational explanation, it's really hard to think of anything except for like hallucinations or like the carbon monoxide poisoning in the car, but you somehow didn't die from. It's so crazy.
He saw a white light. She saw headlights.
She saw shadows first, though.
Yeah, but she also saw headlights. So I don't know if I think
it was brake lights she saw.
Was it brake lights?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was headlights. Because that would explain them both seeing a white light, you know?
Yep.
But
just really weird. Very unique. We definitely want to hear the rest of your stories, so please send them our way. Thank you so much for sending that in. So one more time, thank you to everyone who sent in your story for us to read. We sincerely appreciate it. If you have a homegrown horror you would like to share with us, please email storytime@scarish.com. You can also go to our website, scarish.com, and click on Contact Us. If it's a form that you can fill out, you don't need to have any other social medias, an email address, anything like that, and it'll come directly to us. We sincerely appreciate all the stories that are shared with us. If you would like to hit us up on our social medias, though, you can go to facebook.com/scarishpodcast and message us that way. You can also tweet at us at scarishpod or Insta us, which is Instagram, at scarishpodcast. We appreciate everyone that watches, everyone that listens. You folks are all amazing. Robin, for folks who would like to donate to us monetarily, how can they do so?
You can go to patreon.com/scaryishpodcast. Those are monthly donations. There's a bunch of different tiers. Right now, we're celebrating Adam's birthday by giving everybody 15% off of our Etsy store.
You get my birthday present.
So head on over there, become a patron for as low as $1. Get 15% off these brand new pins that we're taking pre-orders for right now. Check it out. Head on over. You can also go to Ko-fi.
That's spelled KO-FI-LB-LB-LB-LB.
Shut up! You can go to Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/scarishpodcast. Those are one-time donations, and all those donations go to helping us upgrade our studio setup. Thank you so much to everybody who's helped us get this far with this podcast. You guys are absolutely great. We're just regular average Joes, and the fact that you folks are here with us is absolutely amazing.
It sincerely is. So for the last time, thank you sincerely from the bottom of our hearts. I think that's just about everything we have for Storytime number 117. So Robin, go ahead and sign us out.
Keep on creeping on, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye-bye.